I don't really know how to start this video, but I will say I am grateful that Silksong is a thing. For the last 6 years, this game has been memed, clowned. Every single year you had a better chance to find $1 billion lying under your bed than playing Silksong. It was a myth. Like, this game was never happening, and this game has been out for the last, I don't know, 15 hours now. It is, I don't know, I'm grateful. I am grateful that Silksong exists because now we can move forward, we can move forward with our lives. I have a lot of things I want to share about the game, and this is going to be the first of many videos, so drop a like, subscribe if you want to see more. And yeah, there are plenty of things I want to talk about, but I think I'm going to focus on difficulty for now. And the hardest thing, in my opinion, about Silksong was to buy Silksong. Because for 2 hours, or maybe even 3 hours, I wasn't able to buy an indie game in the PlayStation Store. I know this is a mainstream issue. It was a mainstream issue on almost every single platform. This is what happens when you just drop a game on release date with no pre-orders, no preloads. And by the way, we're talking about billion dollars companies: Nintendo, Microsoft, Valve, and especially Sony. Words cannot describe how pissed I am. It's not just about the fact that I wasn't able to buy the game. There was little to no information when it comes to why I couldn't buy the game for 2 hours. This is an indie game that I couldn't buy for 2 hours. Everything else on the store was working fine, but I couldn't buy an indie game. Guys, I don't know how you feel about GTA 6, but I gotta be honest with you, there is a chance you might not be able to play it for at least a month. Like, if this indie game crashed, it didn't crash the PlayStation Store because everything else was working fine. But if this is the state of the store in the big 2025, unable to deliver an indie game, a $20 indie game to the people, I don't know what you expect from GTA. Unless GTA has like a preload which starts a week before the game comes out, you will not be able to play the game. Like, I gotta be honest, this is going to be the most popular game in the world. Everybody and their grandma and those people's grandmas, are going to be trying to play the game. I don't think you will get in. You will not be able to get it for at least a month. And I was trying to understand the reason why. I don't understand why I would own a console in today's age. The console war is over. So what is the point of having a console if you can't even play the games you want to play? I don't know. Sony has some figuring out to do, because this is not okay. Now, coming back to the game itself, I think Hornet Silksong is a difficult game. And I think the same could be said about Hollow Knight, the game that came out before Silksong. But I think one of the beauties of Hollow Knight is how it eases you into its difficulty. Most of the enemies that you encounter at first, for the first half of the game, are, I say, very approachable. The charms that you have, the powers, the abilities, everything is made so beautifully. You will get lost. I think the hardest thing about Hollow Knight and even Hollow Knight Silksong is that you will get lost not knowing which way to go. It doesn't matter if you have a map or a compass, you will get lost. It's part of the process. It's like an open world game, but in a 2D platformer. It's very, I think that's the one thing people really don't like about those games, and it's still there in Silksong. I don't mind it because it's part of the thing, and a month from now you will be able to go everywhere because you just memorize the map anyway. So I don't think this is a problem. But the real issue has to do with the actual difficulty of the game when it comes to platforming and especially enemies. Again, Hollow Knight eases you into its difficulty. I'm going to take the example of the Grim Troop to tell you why I think Silksong is insanely hard from the start. When you actually have access to Grim, you don't fight his nightmarish version right away. First, you have to go on the fetch quest, which, by the way, I hate. You have to gather his little spirits or whatever to to rekindle something. I don't remember, but I do remember that I hated this part. But you don't get to fight, his most powerful version right away. You fight Grim, and you learn how to dance. The game eases you into the actual fight, because this is not the real fight. This is just practice. But you get to practice against Grim. You die a couple of times, and then you get it right. You dance with him, and this is going to be relevant later, because night making Grim is all about rhythm. You vibe with him, you match his tempo, and I love that. I wasn't thrown right away into the fight, and mind you, by the time you fight Grim, you have done everything in the game. You have all the mass shards, you have all the milk upgrades. Your nail is also very good. Again, the builds you can make, the potential is infinite. So this is like an end game boss, and you have end game loadout. The thing about Silksong is like, if it feels like sometimes you're facing multiple. I used to I used to hate Markov with a passion. I think Markov is the worst boss in Hollow Knight. I used to hate him. I think the worst enemy in Hollow Knight is the primal aspect, and I think most people will actually agree with me that those guys are not fun to deal with. Now imagine that Hollow Knight Silksong has enemy, like everybody in the game is Markov, all the primal aspect. Yeah, that's how I feel like. I feel like almost everything, almost every single enemy in the game is annoying, and it is a step up, because most regular enemies in Hornet only have like 1 or 2 moves. They can only do 1 or 2 things, and they don't have crazy movement. I do appreciate how most enemies, even the base enemies from the beginning of the game, are more complex. Like, they have more complexity to the way they move and the way they attack. Even though I appreciate that, I think, again, the game doesn't ease you into it, because even with all my knowledge from Horror Night, I was still struggling in Silksong. So I'm thinking, what would happen to somebody who didn't play the game before? They're going to get wrecked. They are going to get absolutely obliterated. Promise Concert Radan type of obliteration. Like, they're going to be obliterated by the enemies. The bosses, in my opinion, are actually fine so far. I think they are very fun, except for 2 bosses. But the bosses were very fun to fight. And this is why I play the game, for fun, not to be obliterated. This is not what I wanted. I don't want a difficult game, and if the game is difficult, I want the difficulty to make sense. And even the platforming is not made easy. I still think the platforming is challenging because of, Hornet's kid. She doesn't pogo the same way the Knight pogos. And this is a big deal because it's significantly harder to control. If this game has, the Path of Pain, the same way the previous one did, honestly, it's going to be a nightmare. Like, this is going to be the real Path of Pain, and oh my god, I don't know about that. I wanted a challenging game, but I don't know if this is what I wanted. Everything else is great though. Like, you genuinely feel like Silksong is an upgrade over the previous game, but I don't think it is the case in every single aspect, especially difficulty, because again, the previous game eased you into it. In Silksong, you get thrown into it. Just figure it out. I don't know. I'm going to keep playing the game, obviously, because I've been playing it for only like 10 hours. I might be halfway there, thanks to Sony not being able to deliver the game sooner. But I don't think the difficulty in the game is as approachable as it used to be in Hollow Knight. It could be a skill issue type of thing, I don't know, but again, I've been playing that previous game for like years, and I'm having a hard time. I'm having fun, but I'm also having a hard time. I don't know how it's going to be for most people playing the game for the first time. Some people might just give up on it entirely, which is unfortunate. And I understand, because this game is hard, man. I love the primal aspects now. They're not that bad. Those guys, oh my god, I miss them. Markov, I was hard on him. He was trying his best. I want to play against Markov. Imagine what they did to me. I want to play against Markov. This is the state of the game right now, and Let me know if you share the same opinion about the game, if you even played it, because again, it was a nightmare to even get the game in the first place. Anyway, I'm Jisoo. You're going to see me around a lot, so might as well subscribe and drop a like. I'll see you soon. Peace.